lyrics for class. Rap lyrics for class. We got rap lyrics for class. Rap lyrics for class. We got the rap lyrics for class. Welcome back. We're here, Rap Lyrics for Class, where we take awesome, legendary MCs and their songs, and we analyze, we break it apart, we bring in special guests, usually artists or educators that can help us analyze and get with the real meaning and messages for the people. So today we have two songs that we're going to analyze. I'm excited. One of them is a very, very legendary and one of my favorite MCs, and one is a newer MC, newer to us, but I'm sure he's been grinding and doing his thing for a long time before we got to see him. So I'm excited about today. We have a great guest that's going to come on and help me analyze and break down these lyrics for you guys. Hope you guys are ready. Put your seatbelt on. Rap Lyrics for Class. So I would like to welcome to the Rap Lyrics for Class forum, platform, and all that good stuff, Alexandra Bradley. Hey, what's up?
Hey. Thank you for the invite. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Glad you're here. Took some time out to come and chill, hang out for a minute, and talk about some hip hop and talk to the kids with me. How you feeling today?
Overall, doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm great. But yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself. I know our executive producer, Joe Malachi. Shout out to Malachi. Always bringing the great people through. You guys work together at TECH Freire. Let me get that right. TECH
Freire.
All right, so you guys work there. And you take charge of the 21st Century program, working with students with academic and arts-related projects after school. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so TECH Freire is a newer school in North Philadelphia. And it has been awarded a federal grant called the 21st Century Community Learning Center grant. And that grant allows our students who attend our school to have the resources to kind of do anything that they put their minds to or would like to do. Anything from art and design to music production and music vocals. Shout out to Mr. Will doing the music vocals within our school, allowing and teaching students not only just like those enrichment things, but also just life skill development. So we really try to hone in and focus on developing students outside of the classroom. A lot of learning happens with the book, but also there's so much more that can be learned outside of the book, and that's where I come in and what I'm passionate about.
Oh man, I agree with that point there, 110%. Learning, a lot of it happens outside of the classroom. Experiences, experiential learning, field trips. I'm a fan of field trips. Some teachers don't like field trips, but kids do get a little open, but they're learning at the same time. So that sounds like a great opportunity.
We have an unlimited amount of resources, to be honest with you, and for the type of students that we serve, it really is a platform that can propel them into great and amazing things.
Once things go back to normal, whatever that turns out to be in the future, we're going to have kids really interested in getting back involved in things that bring out their passion. So I'm glad you guys are doing that over there. So tell me a little bit about you, Alexandra. How did you, because there got to be some connection. You sound passionate about, the things that you're doing at 21st Century for the arts-related programs, academics. Like, why the connection?
So I am an athlete by trade, is what I say. I played basketball in high school and college, had the opportunity, if I had taken it, to go overseas and play professionally. However, I came to the realization that I feel like I am the person I am today, not necessarily because of the teacher that I had in the classroom, but more because of the outside influences that I had. And I feel like that is a main thing that these students and these young people are missing nowadays, is that one person that has their back and they know they have their back. And so that's where I come in and why I'm passionate about it, not just within athletics, but also, as you said, like with my current program at TECH Freire Charter School, and we actually call it LIT. It's called Leading Innovative Thinkers. That's what our after school program is called. And for me, it's kind of my two worlds are clashing. As an athlete, I feel like I learned collaboration, I learned teamwork, I learned communication, I learned all these things while I was an athlete playing basketball with different people. But ultimately, it taught me to be the person I am today in the workplace. It taught me how to communicate with people who don't look like me. It taught me how to communicate with people that do look like me. And ultimately, that's where my passion is today. And I don't see that changing because I feel like these youth of today need more of us as opposed to people who are just trying to put them in a box and just tell them, hey, you have to do X, Y, and Z. I want them to explore. I want them to have options. I want them to be able to see and do whatever the heck they put their mind to.
Right. Okay. I hear that. So you picked two artists that I think are very important to hip hop history. And like I said, one of them, the legendary artist Biggie Smalls, aka the Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
And why is that one of your favorite MCs? You know,
Yes,
OG. I think you kind of young. What you know
I
about
am
Biggie?
I am kind of young. I'm definitely young. It's funny because Juicy came out when I was 3 years old.
Wow.
So it's kind of funny that I picked that song, but that's one of those songs for me specifically, either as an athlete or as a young professional, that kind of always encouraged me because I feel like it's his rise to fame. It's his story from starting from the bottom to being where he is. And so that always resonated with me because I feel like I'm on a journey to being, the name of fame. Like I might not necessarily be Biggie Smalls one day, but I feel like I'm moving and progressing.
Got you. All right. I actually I think I want to hear the song, man. Let's jump right into it. Juicy, the Notorious B.I.G. Baby.
Let's get it.
Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling from that called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter.
Yeah.
And to all my peoples in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby.
Shake it.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack, Mr. Magic Marley Marl. I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Smoking weed and bamboo, sipping on private stock. Way back when I had the red and black lumberjack with the hat to match. Remember rapping Duke? The hard. You never thought that hip hop would take it this far. Now I'm in the limelight cause I rhyme tight. Time to get paid, blow up like the world trade. Born sinner, the opposite of a winner. Remember when I used to eat sardines for dinner? Peace to Ron G, Brucey B, Kid Capri, Funk Master Flex, Love Bug, Star Ski. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call a crib, same number, same hood. It's all good. And if you don't know, now you know.
You know very well who you are.
Money
Don't let 'em hold you down.
bankroll.
Reach for the stars.
So
You have a goal. Cause you're the only one. I'll give you good.
I made the change from a common thief to up close and personal with Robin Leach. And I'm far from cheap, I smoke skunk with my peeps all day. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way. The Moet and Alizé keep me pissy. Girls used to diss me, now they write letters cause they miss me. I never thought it could happen, this rapping stuff. I was too used to packing ice and stuff. Now honeys play me close like butter play toast. From the Mississippi down to the East Coast. Condos in Queens, indo for weeks. Sold out seats to hear Biggie Smalls speak. Living life without fear, putting 5 carats in my baby girl ear. Lunches, brunches, interviews by the pool. Considered a fool cause I dropped out of high school. Stereotypes of a black male misunderstood. And it's still all good,
So
And if you don't know, now you know.
You know very well who you are.
bankroll.
Don't let 'em hold you down. Reach for the stars.
Mansion, So
Cause you're the only one. I'll give you good.
94.
Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this. 50-inch screen, money green leather sofa. Got 2 rides, a limousine with the chauffeur. Phone bill about 2 G's flat. No need to worry, my accountant handles that. And my whole crew is lounging, celebrating every day, no more public housing. Thinking back on my one-room shack, now my mom pimps an act with minks on her back. And she loves to show me off, of course. Smiles every time my face is up in the sauce. We used to fuss when the landlord dissed us. No heat, wonder why Christmas missed us. Birthdays was the worst days. Now we sip champagne when we thirsty. Damn right I like the life I live. Cause I went from negative to positive and it's all good. And if you don't know, now you know, you know, you know.
You know very well
Money.
who you are. Don't let 'em hold you down.
And if you don't know, now you know, you know, you know.
That's right. So.
Cause you're the only
East Coast.
And if you don't know, now you know, you know, you know. Let the beat down in the house.
Biggie Smalls.
Junior Mafia, Mad Flavor.
I see you, I see you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Alright.
Junior Mafia.
Hey, yeah. You know very well who you are. Don't let 'em hold you down. Reach for the stars. You had to go. Cause you're the only one. How's if you couldn't finish?
Uptown. Money earning my burning. South Central. Detroit. East Side. It's all good.
You see Notorious B.I.G. Man, I love that song. It's a vibe. It's a whole vibe. So when you listen to that, what do you think his overall message or theme was meant to be?
Honestly, I think it's really just reaching for the stars. He says it in a song, you know, just looking at the experience from, you know, started from the bottom to where he was. I think it's really just showing people and students ultimately, and you know, and adults as well, that you really can do anything you put your mind to. It really reflects, you know, hard work and grinding, but you know, you can look back over your life and say like, oh, I really made it. Like I really did do things that I put my mind to.
Right. Yeah, he is definitely. This song brings like a lot of nostalgia for me. This was my era coming up, and when that song came out, it was like, yeah, it was like it spoke to everybody's dream, you know, especially people that were, you know, in entertainment field. Like everybody, you know, you look at the Source. When he said the Source, now the Source magazine, I probably got like 20 Source magazines. And I was like, this is going to be something one day. So it's somewhere in my basement. I haven't pulled it out yet. But every week, every Saturday, I would go over to, it was a record store called The Funk and Mark it was like 13th and Market. And I would go there, buy the Source, buy a couple, this is when people were buying vinyl and buy 12-inch singles of, you know, what was ever hot at the time. So when a lot of things in there, it's like, wow, it's just great. And one thing I want to point out too, is that, and I tell students a lot to be vivid in your writing. So I'm sure you have a lot of artists, especially I know MCs, you know, everybody loves to rhyme, you know, it's in our blood, I think. But how do you explain to them in, you know, in ways, or which songs would you show them, or even in this song, how would you depict the things that Biggie is saying and say, yeah, this is an example of writing vividly?
I think first of all, like kind of in the beginning when he's saying like to all the teachers that told me I never amount to anything, I think it's like interesting, and the way I would break it down is put yourself in his shoes, like make this video or make this song about you. Like you said, like a lot of artists or a lot of people that want to rap and sing, they hear something and they like, oh, I want to be like that. And I push them, or would push them, to do the sound that makes you happy, do the sound that represents you, do the sound that you can express who you are. Because a lot of people, you know, they try to mimic what they already see, but be unique. You know, I say break it down that way as opposed to just trying to fit into a box that has already kind of been made.
All right, so what's your favorite verse there?
My favorite verse? That's hard. I would probably say the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. verse. That's
Okay.
that's probably my favorite verse of the entire song. It's really hard because I really feel like I resonate with different parts of the songs for different reasons. But I think that second, I think that's the last verse, really kind of brings it home for me.
Okay, yeah, and it paints that vivid picture back, in the 90s, late 90s. You can see a kid sitting, just playing Super Nintendo all day in front of the TV.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
the public housing.
And I think that's the part, I think that reason why it resonates with me so much is because it's humbling, because it really talks about Super Genesis, the Super Nintendo in 94. Like, that was a big thing. Everybody didn't have that the way these kids have like PlayStations and Xboxes now.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. But then it also talks about no heat, wondering why Christmas missed us, birthdays was the worst days. But they sipping champagne when you're thirsty. Like those two lines right there, to go from birthdays being the worst days to champagne when you drinking champagne it's just water. For me, like that's the humbling part, because you really can go from absolutely nothing to something.
Right. And I think, one of the lines that stick out for me, because I went from negative to positive, and I think it's probably a good choice to explain, his way of going from negative to positive, because in some of the things, let's keep it real, some of the things that he's talking about, he's still talking about the street and how he, he's still told the gap with infrared and this and that. So I think that a lot of times our students can get caught up into that whole facade of a rapper has to have this, a gun, a car, a bunch of chicks and everything. But a lot of this is about entertainment, because trust me, if he didn't have the grind, the commitment and dedication, no matter what he put out there on his song, if he didn't have those characteristics, we wouldn't know who Biggie Smalls is today. Very, very important.
That's very real. That's definitely heavy. And I think in this day and age where social media is so prevalent, everybody is comparing everybody to social media, but what they're not showing you is, when they're up till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning writing beats or in the studio, or when they're, exhausted and they're sleeping on the studio floor because they only got 2 hours between sessions, or they're scraping money together to even get into the studio.
Yes, sir.
They don't even see that part. All they see is the fame and the cars that they're renting for videos. They don't own the cars, y'all.
Yes.
They're trying to paint that picture for y'all.
Yeah. And so as an artist yourself, how does this resonate with you personally? Well, you spoke on some things, but as an artist, I know that's as a person, just in general, but as an artist, how does this resonate with you?
So I wouldn't necessarily. I'm in a very interesting position, because I don't necessarily. It's funny because I don't necessarily think of myself as an artist. I'm more thinking of myself as an educator. So I've recently I started playing drums probably when I was like 10 or 11, more because I was in church and I was like one of the only kids there, besides my pastor's son, and he started playing drums. And so I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna play drums too. So I started playing drums. My parents poured into me and allowed me to explore that. And then after that, I kind of really jumped into the athlete bag. I was the jock. Fortunately or unfortunately, we can dive into a little bit of that with J. Cole. But I really then, as I got older, I realized that I put myself in a box as an athlete. I thought all I could do was be an athlete. And so as I've gotten older, I've actually been more into videography. I started my own business with that, Lexquisite Visuals, where I'm just trying to literally expand on my horizons as an artist, as a person who expresses themselves other than just being a basketball player. So that's kind of where I think of it in that, and how that relates to this song is that I started with just borrowing a camera from somebody, like literally just borrowed a camera and started making things and downloading different apps and watching YouTube videos, and am able to produce something that looks very professional. But what they're not seeing is that it took me, I would say the very first video I did start to finish took me about like 40 hours altogether. And it was like a 30, like maybe like a 45-second video. But it took so long, like that grind. Everybody just thinks like, oh, you just put it on social media or you just make a movie and that's it. And it's like, it's so much more than that. It's
yeah,
so
man. Respect, man. Shout out to Jay. our videographer over here and an editor, man. It's like crazy. I dip and dab in it a little bit, and I forgot how much work it takes to put into that. And I did something for the school I'm at, and you know, the next time I saw Jay, I had to let him know, like, yo, I bow down, bro, because it's very tedious.
Yes, it is. And if if you're like me, unfortunately, I'm a perfectionist.
Exactly.
So one thing's off, I gotta go back and fix it. If I render the video, at the end of the day, I'm ready to send it, watch it one more time, and I see the little thing, gotta go back in, gotta change it, gotta make sure the timing is right. But it's all about the grind. It's all about putting forth a good product, and that's what I'm happy about. And I feel like as a artist, that's what I should be doing.
Right, and that grind, that's how you separate the meek from the mighty. The person that'll render that video and do it all over again. Yep. I commend you on that. I might just send it. I don't know. But it's one line in here too. Can you tell me a little bit about the demographics at TECH Freire?
Yeah, for sure. So most of our students come from the North Philly area. Our school is located at Broad and Susquehanna. It does not look like a school. It is actually one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. So most of our students come from the Strawberry Mansion area of the city. So most of them come from low income housing, or home. Even we have some students that are homeless. We have some students who are working and going to school, mostly Black and brown children, students who have been through trauma, students who have a number of just kind of strikes already against them, which is really unfortunate. But many of them do come to school, they do their work, and it is my job, again, outside of the classroom, to introduce them to opportunities like videography, music production, anything outside of the school book that can help them move into the next phase of their life.
Right. So you might have a Christopher Wallace in the building.
I wouldn't say might. I definitely do. Do. There's somebody in that building that maybe I haven't laid eyes on yet because it's virtual. That is a Christopher Wallace. It's just a matter of me as a facilitator and as a manager bringing that out in them, making sure I have people in place that can bring that out and making sure that they are aware of the resources that we have, because ultimately that's what it boils down to.
Awesome. And I think more so we're going to have to deal with too when I say about the Christopher Wallace being in the building, because we're going to have kids that are, kind of already have this thought process. And the line, he says, considered a fool because I dropped out of high school, stereotypes of a Black male misunderstood. Yeah. And it's right now I'm working in an alternative program, and that's a struggle, trying to talk these young Black men into staying in school. And they think, well, I'm misunderstood, I'm stereotyped, so I might as well just throw the towel in and do what they think I should be doing. So that we're going to have to deal with that even more after this pandemic, because the social and emotional wellness has been affected by it as well.
You're definitely talking that fire. And I also want to point to living life without fear. I think a lot of specifically what's going on in the city of Philadelphia with this violence that's going on, it's disheartening. And I think a lot of students, they won't necessarily come out and say it, but I think a lot of them are scared about their future. Either they don't think they're going to make it to a certain age, or even if they do, they won't amount to anything. And so I think, as you said, with them being misunderstood, we just have to continue to show them what can happen, what could be in their future. A lot of students aren't able to look past, the next day. They just have to get through the day. And so I feel like it's my job and my passion to make sure that students know that they can go beyond high school. I think a lot of times we hear, oh, well, you have to go to college to be successful. I 100% disagree with that. I do not think you have to go to college to be successful. I do believe that you do have to educate yourself beyond the high school education, but that could be a plumber, that can be a contractor, that could be a music engineer, that could be, in coding. It could be in so many different things. You just have to figure out what you like, what you're passionate about, and let's get behind that. We'll figure out how to get you a job. We'll get you a certification to do whatever, but let's live without fear and keep it moving.
Right. So I hope you guys are hearing that out there, any students and teachers listening, tuning in. You can do anything. You just have to have a plan. Know what you want to do. If it's college, great. research the colleges. Is it cheaper for me to stay in state or out of state? If you don't want to do college, that's fine too. There's training schools, and the time is to start now. So true indeed. Everybody has a different path. We all want the same thing. We want to be happy and successful and take care of our families, but we all don't have to walk the same path. Is there any last words you want to say about Juicy to any teacher or student out there that might be sitting in front of us, analyzing and listening to our discussion?
Honestly, just the middle of the chorus, reach for the stars. Reach for the stars, reach for the stars. Y'all can do it. It's all in you. It's already there. You already have the tools that you need. It's just a matter of putting them in place, and reaching for the stars.
Nice. I'm feeling you, Miss Bradley. I'm liking this. All right. Yes, cut from the same cloth. Rap lyrics for class. Rap lyrics for class. We got rap lyrics for class. Rap lyrics for class. We got the rap lyrics for class. Rap lyrics for class. Rap lyrics for class. We got rap lyrics for